What's up, YouTube? This is Ultra Rye, and today we are going to our part 3 of Road to Elder God, right? So this series is pretty much just building off of fundamentals, right? And a way that I think you could go about learning the game, what you should learn first and stuff like that. So I'm not going to go over everything we went in the previous videos because you can go and watch those, right? But in the last video, we talked about punishing gaps and stuff like that and hit confirming. So now I think we're at the point to where we need to understand a lows and overheads and mids, right? So a mid attack can be blocked low or standing, right? If it's a mid, it can be blocked crouch or standing. If it's an overhead, it has to be blocked standing. If it's low, it has to be blocked crouching. And Melina has two separate strings, and one goes into an overhead and one goes into a low. So that's an overhead, right? And then the second string, the second hit is a low. So for this first string, you need to understand that the second hit is an overhead, so you gotta block the second hit standing. And the second string, you gotta block the second hit low because it's a low, right? Because if you don't know this, you're just going to get hit all the time, right? You're going to get hit all day if you don't understand what's an overhead and what's a low. So I think you should go through every single character in the game, learn what strings are overhead, learn what strings are low, and get used to blocking them, right? Now you're going to run into situations where certain strings end in a low and an overhead. Right now, you pretty much would be guessing, right? A lot of times you can react to the overhead, but at this stage, I think just recognizing the string and understanding that, hey, oh, this ends in an overhead, this ends in a low, and choosing one, right? So you're kind of just guessing which one, but you're recognizing the string and you're like, okay, this could end in a high and a low. And while you're going through strings, try to figure out what strings you can punish, right? Because there are some strings that are negative, -8 or more, and you can punish them. So as you're going through and you're learning what to block overhead, what to block low, look at the frame data just like you did with punishable special moves, right? You're going to look for punishable strings. And that's all you really care about right now. Because now you're recognizing the string. If they do a string that is super negative, you're going to punish it. And it just goes to understanding everything about the game, right? If you understand your opponent's strings and you can block them, then they really can't ever hit you. So, I think that is the important thing to focus on right now. And I think you need to work on using your cameo more, right? So before I talked about just using your cameo, just for something basic, just so you get used to having them out there on the screen, right? So this is a good time to where you can start implementing them maybe as combo extensions, right? Because I taught you, a very basic combo, right? I told you that, something like that, right, is 316. But if I use my cameo to extend it, I'm bad. Alright, let me redo that. I messed it up. Alright, so but if I use my cameo to extend it, mess it up again. I got a hitbox, so I'm trying to get used to it. No! Alright, I'll get it this time, I promise. Alright, so instead of getting 317 damage or whatever, I got 427 damage, right? So that's just more damage, and I did it off of a hit confirm. Sub-Zero is one of those ones where I can do off of any string, right? I can just go into it if I get the confirm, but different cameos do different things, right? If you're using Kung Lao, you want to get used to, using Lao Hat in the neutral. Maybe using it, putting it down while you do an overhead, then let Lao Hat go. I'm not going to go over all cameos. There's guides out there that you can look at. I have guides for a couple of the cameos on my channel, not all of them. So you can check those out if you want. But I think at this point, off of everything that we built off of, if you can learn to recognize all of your opponent's moves, right? Every single string they do, you just need to know if it's a high or if it's an overhead, a mid, or a low right now. And if you start using your cameo more, right? And it might not be a combo extender. It might be something for like pressure, right? Like Sub-Zero can do something like that, right? So I kept my pressure going. If you notice that, I called in armor, right? And then I used it as an ambush. So that's something that's very unique and not many cameos have. Not many cameos have an ambush off of a move that you already have, right? So off of armor, and then you can call in your shoulder attack with Sub-Zero. So you might start adding stuff like that. Just different stuff with your cameo so you get used to using it. Whether it's a combo extension, whether it's a pressure tool, and stuff like that. And I think at this point, that's really all you need to focus on. Because now, you realize you're anti-airing every time. You're punishing every single special move. Now you're going to be punishing every single string that's negative, right? And you're going to be recognizing what's an overhead and what's a low and how to block them correctly. And this is just going to set you up for success in the future for what we go over. And you're learning little by little, and you're not really learning bad habits, right? The main thing about fighting games is a lot of people just learn bad habits because they go into the game and they just do what works, right? Like, let's say I'm playing someone and, oh no, this hits them every single time, right? I'm going to keep doing that. If this hits you every single time, I'm going to keep doing that, right? But that's a punishable move, and if I do it against a good player that blocked it, he's going to punish me. So, right now, I think those are the things that you need to focus on. And we're getting, after this, we're going to start getting into, like, you know, more deeper things like that. You know, comboing off of your anti-air, you know, up blocking, fuzzy garden, and all this stuff. So we're about to get to the fun stuff, but right now, I think that is just what you need to focus on. You need to focus on using your cameo more, and learning all the strings in the game, and learning to block them, whether you get to block them low or overhead, and learning what strings are punishable. And I know this seems like a lot, and this step is a lot because there's a lot of strings in the game, right? There's a lot of strings in the game, and you're going to have to go through each one, and you're going to have to learn them. But the good thing is, if you go to the move list, it tells you what it ends in, right? So you know that for me, 1, 2 ends in a mid, right? 1 starts as a high, and then 2 is a mid, and then 1, 2, 4 is another mid. So this 1, 2, 4 string is high, mid, mid just by looking at the move list. So you can use the move list to speed up this process. And like I said, if you hit triangle, it's going to tell you what's punishable and what's not. So just go down and see what's punishable and what's not punishable. That is it for this video. Like I said, I appreciate the support. I appreciate all y'all in the Discord. We have a fantastic tournament going on. We're about to start the playoffs for it. And I just appreciate everything that y'all do. Y'all have a good one, and I will see y'all next time.